Hello, lovely people. We don't know what this freaking podcast is gonna be yet. We're gonna figure it out. But
Yes.
this podcast is gonna be, we're gonna do whatever the hell we want. We're gonna talk about music, movies, video games. If like somebody important dies, we'll make a podcast about it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm Tyler.
I'm Eric.
And basically, we're two freaking nerds, and we have too much to say, and we don't say it enough. So we're gonna give it to you guys here. So I didn't know what game to stream over this, so I'm streaming Friday the 13th because I'm a terrible gamer. And I don't need you guys making fun of me at how terrible I am at Fortnite. And I'm not trying to ear rape you guys playing Black Ops 4. So
remember what they did to us, Jason.
Yeah.
Kill them.
So let's start off with the biggest thing that's happening right now is that Avengers Endgame is 1 week away.
I'm so upset.
Why?
I did not get tickets.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That is...
My plan is to see it the weekend after it comes out.
You better freaking bury your head in a rock. You better Patrick Star yourself from society. Cause...
I'm gonna go into my fortress of solitude.
Look at that. You see guys? We're making a DC reference talking about Marvel movie. That's what you're gonna get from us. But yeah, this, you know, people, I really dislike people because, you know, you have the people that, you know, they distance themselves and they respect people, and then you have the other people that say, oh, I'm just gonna spoil the movie because Marvel did this thing, and I disagree with it heavily. They took and they they basically showed the first 25 minutes of the movie to people, and for some bizarre reason they let people record, which I don't know why that happened. It was you said you didn't know?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't hear.
Well, you're lucky then, cause that's been like the topic throughout everything right now. And
I know there's been spoilers around Instagram, but I've kind of been steering clear of it.
Yeah, I have too. I've been doing a fairly good job. My friend Miguel, man, he did it to himself. He goes, oh, let me look up the leaked footage, and he just watches all of it.
Oh no, not
so,
me, sir.
And he promised, I made him promise not to tell me anything, so I'm good of that. But I have people going around trying to spoil it purposely for me because they have no respect. And it's like, why? Like, it makes no sense for you to try and purposefully, you know, ruin something that I'm looking forward to so bad.
This movie is gonna be like the reason I live.
This movie, in my opinion, is gonna be the best movie of 2019 by far. I mean, that's a pretty big statement considering that by the time this comes out, we'd still have like 6 months of the year, but I'm not crazy for thinking that. I mean, last year, Infinity War was the top 3 for me.
Marvel never slacks with its live action movies, you know.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, okay. It slacks sometimes, but
because
honestly, I feel like
if we're really gonna,
as much as
yeah, it doesn't.
DC.
It does. Well, DC's been on a roll. DC's been on a roll. You know, Wonder Woman was still decent. I don't like it that much, but it's still decent. Aquaman was awesome. Shazam was awesome too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Shazam, but Shazam was awesome.
Besides those 3 movies, I mean, Batman vs Superman was
No, I enjoy Batman v Superman a lot. It is.
I like
I will admit, it is absurdly long, but
could have been better.
you're right. It could have been. I'm just mad that Zack Snyder's official vision isn't gonna come to life because
Snyder cut, man.
Because I heard he was gonna do some crazy stuff. He was gonna do Dark Side. He was gonna do Apocalypse.
Killing Lois.
Yeah, I heard about that. And now DC is going freaking with Ezra Miller writing the Flashpoint script. Like, I don't even know if it's gonna be Flashpoint because on IMDb it's not called Flashpoint anymore. It's just called The Flash. I don't know if they scrapped that. I would hope so because, you know, that would have been really stupid for them to do Flashpoint.
This is what I personally feel. When it comes to hero movies, like especially DC, you know, I feel like when it comes to the origin movies, they should just cut it. Because like, how many times do we need an origin on Batman or an origin on Superman? And
well, I mean,
Flash, like,
they didn't really give us an origin with Batman. They showed it, but it's not like they went through it all already. Ooh, excuse me. And you know, I like that. Superman, I feel like he needed an origin for the DCEU because, well, it was better handled than it was in the originals, which, I mean, the original movie isn't better than Man of Steel. The originals are classic, but, you know, the origin, I feel like it was a little bit better because they showed Krypton, they showed General Zod, and God, I don't know what his name is. Jor-El, I think his name is his father. And, you know, they really went deep into it, and I kind of like that. But what I don't like is how they rushed every other character. I would say Aquaman, but, you know, Aquaman's movies fix that greatly. You know, but... And Wonder Woman.
Is, like, amazing, though.
But then, you know...
It's so funny because... like growing up, I was never a big fan of Aquaman. I used to
Nobody was.
Lame. And walking into that movie, I was like, man, it's not gonna be that good. Dude, my life changed when I saw Aquaman.
It was good, man. You know, and if you read. You have to read the New 52 Jeff Johns Aquaman. That is a good ass comic book run.
I heard New 52 Aquaman is way better than the
He's awesome, bro. Like, he gets stuff done, man. But, you know, speaking of New 52, I've been reading a lot more New 52, man. Oh my god. It's so good. The New 52 Suicide Squad, if they had done the New 52 Suicide Squad in a live action movie, oh my god. It would have been rated R. It would have been rated R, it would have been bloody, it would have been awesome. Look at this. I know what you're gonna say.
I heard that they just cast John Cena.
No, it's a rumor. It's a rumor. It's not. They didn't. Yeah.
Dude, that would honestly, I don't know how I feel about that.
I know who he's gonna play too. Because I heard it's a whole reboot for the most part. Even though Margot Robbie's coming back, which makes no sense if it's a reboot.
What I heard, it isn't a reboot, but because Suicide Squad has so many stories that it's just different. Like it's just a different story. Like I don't know, not a different universe, but it's just.
Speaking of different universes, I want to know what they're doing with Wonder Woman 1984. That's what I want to know. Because I've been hearing that this movie is going to be like a reboot, but like it's not, because like Steve Trevor's coming back. It's confirmed he's going to come back, and there's pictures of him in the movie. But it does not make sense. I don't know how they're gonna do this. The only way I saw him coming back is if they had done Flashpoint. But I don't want them to do Flashpoint because I know 95% that they will mess it up.
I feel like, personally, I feel like for them to do something like that, they would have to release Flashpoint first, then do that.
I know.
Or
that's what I'm saying.
they release that movie and then the after credit end up being like
Barry wakes up in the alternate time, or it could be the beginning of Flashpoint. If you remember, I remember because I just started reading the Flashpoint paradox for the first time the other day, and the first pages is literally him waking up. Well, not waking up, but he's talking to his mom, and he's like, "Oh, where's my ring? The Flash ring." And he's like, "Oh, that, like, why is everything so different?" And that should be an after credit scene. That would be awesome. But then again, them doing the Flash ring, and that's a whole lot of stuff.
Do you think they picked the right actor for the Flash?
I don't hate him. I just don't hate him. I don't want to say I like him, but I don't hate him. He has potential. He has like that kind of quirky attitude that the Flash needs, but at the same time, I don't see him, getting that reverse Flash. Like, when the reverse Flash eventually comes, I don't see him, being dark and, vulnerable.
It's kind of crazy because, like, for anybody who doesn't know me, when it comes to comic accurate things, like, that's a big deal for me. So,
me too. Of course it is.
Like, him not having the blonde hair, and, like, small things like that, that's fine, but it's like, I feel a character like the Flash, there's multiple iterations of him. Like, you have the version of him that's, like, quirky and the jokes and smart but not so smart, and then you have the version of him who's, like, super smart and doesn't joke around as much, and it's just...
And people think,
I feel like they need a good mix of
that,
those
the Flash is lighthearted. The Flash is not lighthearted. If you really look at the Flash and the whole, like, the comic run as a whole, it's pretty dark. You have Flashpoint, you have Crisis on Infinite Earths, you have, all of this stuff that's happened to the Flash. You had Zoom, you had the Reverse Flash. And people think the show is dark. I mean, it has gone dark, but not as dark as the comics.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
The show has done a good job.
If the show honestly wanted to, they can go a lot darker than they have.
The show has, gone dark, with Savitar and Zoom and the Reverse Flash, but, Look at this. You see, we were supposed to be talking about freaking Avengers Endgame, and we're talking about the whole DCEU. Oh my god, I can't with this. Dude, you see? But going back to Avengers real quick, because we got so much other nonsense to talk about. This, Avengers Endgame, it is confirmed to be 3 hours long, which, it's funny because we all wished for it, but now that we got it, it's like, do we really want it to be 3 hours long? I mean,
that's 3 hours of action, bro.
I know.
All those trailers are just like the first,
20 minutes. I heard it's 20 minutes.
Oh my, imagine how much more is in that movie, bro.
I don't know what to expect from this. I heard there's gonna be time travel. I heard there's gonna be deaths.
Insane. Said he cried about 3 times.
I heard that Robert Downey Jr. said the last 8 minutes of Avengers Endgame are the best in the entire MCU.
Bro,
if he's saying that the last 8 minutes of this movie are better than the whole airport fight in Captain America Civil War, that says something. Because to me, that is one of the, if not the best moments of the entire MCU.
A reason why I feel like he's not gonna die is because he said that even though his contract is up, he's willing to sign for a couple more years.
Personally, I'm not sticking to anybody dying. I'm just saying, I don't think, I feel like somebody will die, but I just don't know who would die. And honestly, I'm not gonna say directly, oh, Iron Man will die. Personally, I don't think
Rhodey's gonna die.
I can see Rhodey dying. No, I can see Rhodey dying.
It would give Tony more of a
But
sorry, it would give Tony more of like a motivation.
I could see that.
Is it comics? Yes, Rhodey does die in the comics.
Personally, oh damn. personally, I think he should have died in Civil War. Because that would have been... Now, granted, the way they did it in Civil War was a lot, you know, better with them having Iron Man find out about, you know, Bucky killing his parents and all. But it would have added to the fact if Bucky had killed Brody by accident, and Iron Man was just on this vengeance run to kill Bucky entirely. That would have been awesome. But,
I just
you know,
Civil War was really...
Civil War is fantastic.
It was amazing. Like, it's probably one of my favorite Marvel movies.
To me, it's the second.
A lot because I'm not really a big Marvel fan. I'm more prefer DC, but when it comes to live action movies, Marvel has that for sure. But for animated movies, I give that to DC.
Oh, DC's animated movies are fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
I haven't been keeping up with them. I haven't seen Reign of the Superman, which I could have bought it today.
That movie was dope.
I saw Doomsday. Doomsday was great, but I didn't see Reign of the Superman, which sucks. Oh well. When I get the time, I'll do it. What was I saying? But, you know, Civil War is, to me, the second best. Infinity War is the best. And, you know, I feel like people say, oh, well, you're just a freaking bandwagon if you say Infinity War is the best movie. No, it's not. If I've seen it 6 times, I can legitimately argue that it is the best MCU movie. I put it at the top 3 when I first saw it. I still thought that Winter Soldier... No. I said Winter Soldier's the best one. Civil War is great, but Winter Soldier to me has a more character focus on the characters. I feel like Civil War has too many characters, but I understand why it has too many characters. So I'm not gonna, you know. Sure. To me, the top 5 are Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Doctor Strange, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Easy. That's straight easy. I love the first Avengers, but you know, I don't.
Like the story isn't different, much different from the comic. It's just the characters. Like they have less characters, which is understandable, you know. They haven't introduced certain characters into MCU and, you know, maybe budget.
And you got to give them credit. They had just gotten the rights to Spider-Man, and they made him significant in that movie. You have to give them credit for that.
For sure.
It's so great how they did that. And that moment itself, Tony Stark, you know, meeting Peter for the first time is one of the best moments in the MCU. That moment when the word Queens comes on the screen is absolutely amazing.
I don't know for sure or not, but I heard that supposedly, Peter Parker's the little boy from Iron Man, was it?
2.
2?
Yeah, I heard about that.
The little boy in the Iron Man mask?
That's all old.
I wouldn't not believe it. Like, I would believe it to a certain extent. Because, you know, just seeing from how Peter's such a big fan of Tony.
Yeah.
It's believable.
I can understand it. It's not something that would ruin the freaking continuity of the MCU, so I wouldn't care.
Yeah, it's just something small, you know?
What they should have done is had, like, an Iron Man mask be in his room, and Tony walks in and be like, oh, what's this? He'd be like, oh, I've had that since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
But
Avengers Endgame is just going to be, you know, I'm going to see it Thursday night at the early screening.
My cousin is going to see it at 12 in the morning. This man's not coming out of the movie theater until like 30.
Yo, you know they're doing screenings at 2 in the morning?
Dude,
bro, you're getting back, bro. No, bro, people are doing it. I looked at the seats. Yes, bro, you're getting back at 5 in the morning with traffic.
Well, you're getting out at 5 in the morning.
Yes, bro.
Probably, depending on how far you live, you probably get home at like
6
o'clock.
That is nuts.
That's dope. But yeah, I feel like with the introduction of Captain Marvel, I feel like they can do a Civil
Okay,
War part 2.
Captain Marvel. This is my issue with Captain Marvel. I personally don't like her movie. That's another issue for another time. I don't like her movie. That's just my opinion. You know, I got bashed for it already.
You might be called an anti-feminist for that, dude.
Yeah, you're right. You know. But, oh man, you gotta love society, man. I hate society. But, you know.
I personally haven't seen her movie yet, and I don't plan to anytime soon. But, you know, again, I'm one of those people who don't really care for spoilers. Like, you can tell me, Captain Marvel, whatever.
Nothing happens in that movie that's relevant. That's
like, okay.
That's not what happens to Nick Fury's eye. It's even dumber than that.
It's the cat, right? Yeah. The Flirkin is what it is.
Yep.
And they ate the Tesseract as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, see, that part was funny. I like that aspect because I didn't know about that in the comics because my friend kept telling me, oh, the cat is an alien. And I was like, what? He was like, bro, the cat is an alien. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? He was like, bro, the cat is an alien. I was like, bro, no, he's not. And then his freaking tentacles came out of his face. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, personally, with the introduction of Captain Marvel into MCU, I feel like they
this is what they did with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel has nothing to do with Endgame. Only the end credit scene does. The end credit scene is that they're looking at. I don't know if you remember the end credit scene from Infinity War where he presses the button and it sends the signal. Yeah.
The beeper.
They're looking at the beeper and then it stops beeping because, you know, she gets there and Black Widow's like, oh, keep looking at it, and then Black Widow turns around and she shows up and she's like, oh, where's Nick Fury? But other than that, Captain Marvel's pretty irrelevant to Endgame. The only thing it does is messes up the Skrulls, kind of. The Skrulls are good villains in the movie. Well, they're not really the villains, but, you know, it kind of, you know, it messes up what could have been Secret Invasion, but I feel like the whole MCU is gonna be messed up by the end of Endgame anyway because of what they if they change the past, and if this movie has to do with time travel, which 99% it will. If I feel like if they change everything that happened, this movie's gonna affect the MCU in a huge way.
What is that?
What's what?
I just think it's an audio spike, but honestly, with the introduction of Captain Marvel, that's the same if Robert Downey Jr.
Make them remember what they did to us, Jason. Kill them.
Oh, I can hear your game audio. That's what it is. But anyways, if RDJ decides to stay as Iron Man and Chris Evans is Captain America as well, I feel like they can do a Civil War Part 2. You know, they would have to introduce a couple more important key characters like, wait.
I feel like if they did a Civil War Part 2, Eternals?
The Eternals, yes. There you go.
Who are they? I keep hearing about that. Who are they?
It's like a group of, like, they each have different, like, unique powers, and they have, like, their own, like, you know how the Avengers are Avengers? They're basically like that, but they still work together with the Avengers, and, like, basically the premise of Civil War 2 in the comics is, like, one of them, they meet this boy, and he can see into the future, and they start seeing, like, different possibilities, so the heroes go around trying to stop them. But then, Captain Marvel, when she's trying to, like, when he tells her about one of the visions, when she goes to handle it, it ends up being wrong. And that's when Iron Man learns that it's just predictions, it's not necessarily 100% gonna happen. So, they kind of, like, go to war with each other, and like, he sees a vision of Miles Morales, Spider-Man, holding Captain America's dead body on the stairs of I think it's the White House, I believe.
Is that
Not
when?
sure.
Is that when Punisher shoots him? Is that a version of when Punisher shoots him? Not Punisher.
No.
Crossbones.
Yes. Wait, shoots Captain America?
Yeah, doesn't he? Doesn't
No, he
Crossbones
shoots
shoot
Captain
him?
America in the first one. When after, in the first Civil War, after Steve Rogers gets arrested and he's coming out of the courthouse, Crossbones shoots him in, I think, in his chest. I'm not too sure how he comes back to life, to be honest. But, anyways, but yeah, so Captain Marvel wants to lock up Miles Morales, but Iron Man tells her that he's just a kid, so they should just let him go. And then that's when they learned that it was just a prediction, it didn't happen. So they basically went to war for no reason. It wasn't no reason, but like they should have just talked to him, you know what I'm saying? But it's a really good comic. And that's when we learned, that's when Steve Rogers, we learned that he's actually working for, what's it called?
Make them suffer.
Hydra? When he's working for Hydra? It's that comic line. It's pretty bad.
You see, the problem with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, personally, I like what they did with the character. She's kind of an asshole. She's kind of like snarky and she's a prick, but in a good way. Like, she's sarcastic at every remark.
Like she's too cocky for a hero. Like, no hero should be too cocky, no matter how strong you are. You can freaking slap Thanos with your finger, but you shouldn't be that cocky. Like, there's no point.
You see, Shazam taught you perfectly not be cocky. In Shazam, he's like really cocky as he has the powers. But like, Captain Marvel, I can't see her being all that serious. Like, I can't, everything you just described to me sounds so cool, but I can't see, if they were to ever do something like that, I could never see her doing that. And it's mainly because of her acting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seeing is believing. I don't know. I gotta see.
I heard she's actually like kind of a bad person in like real life too.
Kill for
I don't know.
But yeah, like they could do a really good Civil War too. You know, they would have to add a few more characters. You know, like.
And to me, this is gonna lead into the next huge topic, the Fox and Disney deal. Now,
is that what the Disney Plus thing?
Kind of.
Oh wait. Okay.
This deal to me will change everything. It will absolutely change everything, no doubt in my mind.
Doesn't Fox own X-Men?
Yes, they do. And Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
Now, I feel like, I don't know who's in Civil War 2, but I feel like they could do a Civil War 2 with maybe the X-Men.
I think they actually are in Civil War 2.
But
it's actually kind of funny. You know, it does take place in a different, like, not timeline, but like, universe, I guess, because they have Old Man Logan instead of the regular Wolverine, which is kind of cool.
This, you know, this deal, I don't know what, the future of Marvel right now is just seriously unpredictable.
They can do a lot with anything.
And they said that they're not introducing any plans for Phase 4 until after Spider-Man Far From Home.
No, dude, it's insane, bro. For sure they're gonna add more, like, brand new characters.
I know that they have a lot of plans for some new characters, which, personally, I think that the MCU does need some new characters because...
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to see a couple new faces in the MCU. We've been seeing the same people for how many years?
which I feel like the only relevant phase of Marvel to me was Phase 3. Because Phase 1, I think the only relevant two movies that are really relevant are Thor and the Avengers. Because Iron Man has nothing to do with this crap. Neither does the Hulk. And Iron Man 2 doesn't either. And Captain America, well, Captain America the First Avenger kinda does, because the Tesseract is in it. And Red Skull goes into space, which, you know, it was a great surprise for Infinity War, but it's like, I don't know. To me, other than the Tesseract being in the movie, it doesn't be like, you know, affect it. Phase 2, maybe Civil War, because of the dynamic in Infinity War that they were all split up throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, so I heard apparently the Russo brothers stated that the part in the trailer where Iron Man is like, "Do you trust me?" and Captain America says yes. I heard that that's not in the final film.
What the hell? So then why would they put it in the trailer?
I don't know, dude. They're trying to confuse us. They said that half of the things they see in the trailer isn't going to be in the final cut.
I mean, I feel like that's the thing that should be in the movie, though. I mean, yeah.
I feel like they're.
Make them suffer like
Okay, so personally, I think they're using it as a tactic to like not give it away, but like at the same time, I feel.
Come to mommy.
Dude, honestly, they have so much money they can do whatever they want with this movie. If they can throw in the first 25 minutes of the movie into trailers and give away so much stuff, just think about all the other stuff that's gonna be in the movie.
I don't know. Avengers Endgame is gonna be. I don't want it. I feel like this is a stretch, but it's gonna be a life-changing event. And like in all seriousness, this is gonna be something to behold. Speaking of this Fox Disney crap, X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Oh Lord.
I don't think you remember X-Men Apocalypse at all. I don't even know if you've seen it.
Kind of, sort of, yes, I've seen it. I think I've seen it like twice.
I've seen it a lot. I personally think it's one of the best X-Men movies. It is such a good movie. But I feel like with this happening, it's honestly, not looking too good.
I feel like X-Men did a way better job with Quicksilver than the Avengers did.
Oh, obviously, for sure. Which, by the way, I keep hearing these rumors that Quicksilver is going to come back. I sincerely hope not.
In Avengers?
Mm-hmm. After all this is done.
But you see, that would play part in time travel, would it not?
I understand that, but I still don't want it to happen.
My man capitalized it. R.I.P. to Quicksilver, you know what I'm saying? But,
and apparently, he's supposed to die in Dark Phoenix. It's a rumor.
Wow.
I'm hearing a rumor, that scene in the trailer that, by the way, spoilers, because this is confirmed, so spoilers if you don't want to know about Dark Phoenix, that Mystique is gonna die, and they showed it in the trailer.
That's dumb to me. You see, this is why the X-Men timeline gets confusing, because they, with all of the Days of Future Past events that went on, they changed the timeline. So, honestly, we really don't know what we're working with at this point.
You see, what they should have done, this would have been kind of cool. What they could have done was have, like, I wish they would have took longer to do Days of Future Past, and like, let's say they did Days of Future Past like now. Like, Dark Phoenix is Days of Future Past, but obviously it looks better. And Days of Future Past happens, and the whole timeline is messed up, but they don't finish that story arc, and that story arc leads into the MCU because of the timeline being changed. And you just bring everything over. It would have been a little bit lazy, but at the same time, it doesn't harm anybody.
I see the vision, I see what you mean.
To me, that would work excellently. Because you wouldn't have to worry about recasting anybody, which to me is going to be the biggest challenge for Kevin Feige right now, which I have no doubt he'll do a good job with it, but it's like he has to recast all of these good characters. You know, Wolverine, Quicksilver, Cyclops now, Jean Grey too.
I feel like Wolverine is going to be the hardest one to recast because nobody could beat Hugh Jackman.
It's not even that. You gotta be fair. That's the problem with people sometimes. You have to be fair when it comes to these things. You can't just say, oh, somebody's bad in the movie because they're not as good as one person. You can't say that. You have to give it a chance.
You're absolutely right. Because it's like, Hugh Jackman's been Wolverine since day one. So who's to say that there isn't a better actor than him to play Wolverine? You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be surprised.
I personally think there's nobody better. But again, seeing is believing. Because I thought nobody was better than Christian Bale with Batman. And yes, clowns, I think that Ben Affleck is a better Batman than Christian Bale. But, you know, I had to give it a chance. I was against it entirely. But I gave it a chance, and it was one of the best things coming out of the DCEU. Ben Affleck is the best Batman. I'm sorry. I think he's better than Christian Bale. That's my opinion.
Like, it's just... You have to, like you said, you have to give chances, you know, so we don't know who would be a good Wolverine and who wouldn't be a good Wolverine until they pass the Wolverine.
I heard that Tom Hardy might do it. Now, personally, I could see it because of Mad Max.
Tom Hardy playing Wolverine?
I could see it because of Mad Max. If you've never seen Mad Max Fury Road, first of all, Mad Max Fury Road is an excellent movie. That is one of the best action movies ever.
You know, that became the interesting, you know what I'm saying? Actually no, because he isn't part of the MCU. Never mind. I was gonna bring up Venom, but unfortunately not part of the MCU. It's okay. Maybe later. Question mark?
I don't know. But you know, Tom Hardy's the only one that I've seen thrown out there, and I don't blame him. I don't blame people only throwing out Tom Hardy because it's hard to think of somebody. Because you can't see anybody.
You know who I heard for Reed Richards? The guy from, it's that movie, what's that movie where they can't speak and like the
Quiet Place?
Yeah. I heard.
Maybe.
I see quite a lot of people fan casting him for Reed Richards. He kind of fits the part too, to be honest.
Maybe. I could kind of see it. I kind of can. I don't know. That would be a pretty big, you know. To me, he's too buff. I always saw Reed Richards as like, he's too buff, like he's too Aki. Like, you know, I feel like Reed Richards has always been kind of a skinny, flimsy kind of guy.
Yeah, but honestly, that has a lot to do with his I feel like that has a lot to do with his power.
Yeah, I know.
Side note, just make sure you're still recording.
Yeah, I
am.
am.
Stop recording.
I am. I have it on an hour, and I'm tracking time.
Right.
We have to stop at 7:46.
If it goes past the hour, just restart it. And like we can always just edit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I have to stop at 7:46 or 45, I think. I know it's 40 something. Yeah.
You meant 46, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up. You know, like introducing X-Men into the MCU. Like you said, they would have to do a lot of recasting. But like someone like Quicksilver, like say he doesn't die in Dark Phoenix, like there's already somebody casted for Quicksilver in the MCU, so it's kind of like, you know, you have to. I guess it comes down to choosing who's the better Quicksilver. And honestly, I prefer the one from X-Men.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
You know, because the X-Men stays true to their comics, you know, because Wanda and Quicksilver are Magneto's kids.
At least they addressed that.
Yeah.
Yes, they exactly. They addressed that in the X-Men, which is really cool.
I wish they had done Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I mean, in the X-Men. Oh my God, I can't speak. The X-Men. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, by the way, just a side note, I think Scarlet Witch is one of the best characters in the MCU. I'm one of like the only Scarlet Witch fans of the MCU. That's shocking to me. And I
like
think
you like replace her, or you just
the
like
character, both. That Elizabeth Olsen is awesome as her, but I think she's like really good character, and I like her relationship with Vision. Kind of. It gets a little bit cheesy.
You know, I agree with you on that because it's not too heavy, but it's not too heavy. Like, it's from the teenager's perspective, you know, if we were all to have superpowers, that seems to be a healthy adult relationship. Besides the fact that he's absolutely dead right now.
Well, she's dead too. But personally, I think the moment where she has to kill him at the end of Infinity War is one of the best moments in the entire movie. It is so emotional, especially with the fact knowing that Thanos is literally, well, he does get it, but at that point, you want them to win, and you realize that the only way for that to happen is for somebody to die, and that moment is just so awesome.
Time Stone come clutch, you know what I'm saying? And he just like absolutely demolished them after that. But like, what's it called? I just drew a blank. Sorry. What was I gonna say? It had to do with Scarlet Witch. Oh no, not Scarlet Witch. The reaction of the Avengers on Earth when Thanos walked through the forest?
Bro,
oh man.
I would have reacted the same way. Cap is the GOAT.
Shook.
And Cap is the GOAT. I'm sorry. He had no fear. He said straight up, keep your eyes open and watch your ass.
You know, it's kind of funny because I find it funny when people argue about the fact that Captain America was able to hold back Thanos' arm, and yet the Hulk got absolutely demolished by that man. I feel like,
that's a fact, bro.
But like, I feel like some people just seem to neglect the fact that Captain America is a super soldier. Like, he was built to do things like that.
Honestly, bro, you see, that's what I like about Captain America. They humanized Captain America. They gave him the super soldier serum, but you always forget that he has it. He's not somebody that he needs the super soldier serum to be a successful superhero. To me, and he always sees the bigger picture in things, and I love that about him.
I honestly feel like he's such a great character, and they picked such a great person to play him as well. It's just, again, many examples of a character and an actor who go really well together, and you couldn't see anybody else playing them. You know, that's to say if they do kill off Captain America and we want to bring him back for some reason, but then they can do a lot with Captain America for Phase 4, because there's a lot of people who play him after he dies. You have Bucky who picks up the mantle of Captain America, Falcon, honestly I forgot who else, but that's just, those are two characters right there that they already have introduced in the MCU.
And they're, well, I like Falcon.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't mind him. I like Bucky more, obviously, but
Bucky is dope. Yeah, Winter Soldier, come on. The reveal of Winter Soldier had everybody look at this like, what?
again, I feel like the MCU is gonna be messed up, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. Like the world is gonna be messed up. You know.
I heard it's kind of a theory, but I heard like a lot of people are saying that like, it'd be pretty cool if there ends up being a greater threat in Endgame and Thanos has to team with the Avengers for a little bit of time. Honestly, I don't mind seeing that because I personally feel like he's not gonna be the main villain for the whole entirety of the movie. Because people are saying the first like the beginning when they go into space on the what's the ship called?
Quantum Realm?
Anyway, no, when the Avengers go into space in the Guardian ship, like a lot of people are saying, oh, that might be the first attempt they take to go stop the Thanos, you know, and then.
I feel like
I see that. Like I see them trying to attempt to attack him and they fail, and then
yeah. Did you didn't see the clip that they released? They were sitting in a table, and Black Widow goes, "Oh, that he used the stones again." He was like, "Oh, let's." I forgot who said it.
Yes, I saw that.
And Captain America, Captain Marvel's in the ship when that happens. But
Banner was like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I like her suit. Did you see her suit though?
Yeah, it's cool with all the gold, and her hair is so much better than it was in Captain Marvel. Oh my god, bro. It is so, and I heard that Brie Larson requested them to change her hair, bro. Thank Christ Almighty, she did that, bro.
No. Ending is gonna blow a lot of minds for sure. They're gonna, I'm not gonna say, not kind of like a Flashpoint kind of thing, where Flashpoint kind of broke the.
That's what I want.
Broke the timeline and the universe, but like I feel like it's gonna be something similar to that. Like it's gonna be broken for sure.
Avengers Endgame is gonna be the event of the year for sure. I don't see anything. To me, even Star Wars hasn't generated this much hype, and they just revealed the Rise of Skywalker last week, I believe.
And who's next to Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, cause of Rey.
You think she's a Skywalker?
Yes, sir. Until proven otherwise, that's what I'll say.
But a lot of people mention that since she became a character.
I don't know.
Because her parents are unknown, right? Like we don't know who they're at.
Well, J.J. Abrams said that they're gonna dive into that more in this movie, so.
Honestly, I don't mind seeing Luke as her father. And they would explain a lot as to why she was drawn to his lightsaber.
I don't know. They need to explain a lot, because they need to explain how... You didn't see The Last Jedi, right? Or did you?
I haven't seen it. I know it's on Netflix, but I've seen like I know when Luke is dead and all that crap.
Okay, so you probably don't know this, that they destroyed Luke's lightsaber entirely. Like, it blew up, literally. Like, there's a scene, it's one of the best scenes in the movie. Kylo and Rey, they both reach for the lightsaber at the same time. And they reach for the Force. They use the Force so strongly that it literally erupts the core of the lightsaber and it blows up.
You see, that's further evidence as to why she might be his daughter. Because Kylo Ren is in that bloodline, right? that's why he's able to use his Jedi powers and get the lightsaber like it's nothing. But imagine a regular CPU person just coming and taking your lightsaber and owning it like it's like if they took candy from a movie. Honestly, like I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I don't know how the lightsabers really work and how they have a connection to their user, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Rian Johnson really messed up with, you know, because he did mess up. And J.J. Abrams said, he went on record and said that this was not the vision that he had for this trilogy. And I feel like J.J. Abrams really messed up by not directing this movie. And I get it, he probably wants to go work on Mission Impossible Fallout, which, you know, I've said as much as I need to say about Mission Impossible Fallout as I have. It was the best movie of 2018 by far, but, you know, I don't know. He needs to do a lot with this movie, man. I'm looking forward to it, because everything J.J. Abrams touches is amazing.
You know, Star Wars isn't bad, like, not being a fan of Star Wars, when I went to see, what was it that we went to see? The Last Jedi?
No, Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. Like, that was dope to me, like, for someone who's never seen a Star Wars movie to watch that, like, that was dope, you know?
And it was our first one in the theater too. Well, well, I saw, my dad tells me that he took me to go see like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith in the theater. I was like, dude, I was like 3 when those came out.
No!
Like, I wouldn't mind sitting down and watching all of it. Like, even the prequels, you know, like, I wouldn't mind doing that.
Oh, they're bad. Episode 1 is terrible.
The prequel?
Yes, episode 1 is bad. Episode 2, I like episode 2. Episode 3 is easily the best.
The prequels deal with Anakin, right?
Yeah. Real quick, because we only have like 10 minutes on this crap. These Disney live action remakes. Let's start with the good and then we'll get into the mixed. The Lion King looks absolutely amazing. Jon Favreau, I feel like his middle name is Make Disney Money. That's his middle name. He did it with the first Iron Man, even with Iron Man 2. Even though people don't like Iron Man 2, I love Iron Man 2. And then he did the Jungle Book, which to me was really good, despite it changing things for weird reasons, including them taking away one of my favorite songs, Bare Necessities. But, you know, Jungle Book is still a great movie.
The Lion King just looks beautiful, dude. Like, it's like, even if it's CGI, it still gives it that real effect, you know, and it's like, I feel like a lot of movies now are lacking with that
realism.
With that, yeah, like not a lot of shows and movies and shows included can make that CGI and make something that's fake look real, you know?
Speaking of CGI, oh boy, the Disney live action Aladdin. Oh boy. I am very mixed about this. I was very against it, and I'm still against it for the most part, because Aladdin is personally, if it's tied with Lion King for the best Disney movie in my opinion, because it is just a masterpiece. It's so good.
Dude, I went to see it on Broadway, and it was like the most beautiful thing
Oh,
ever.
you're so lucky. You know what's ironic? I saw Lion King on Broadway.
I want to see that on Broadway.
That's ironic. But
it was so beautiful, dude. Like,
yeah, Lion King was great, too. But this movie... No. We're not going to talk about that real quick. We're going to talk about the good things. The guy who's playing Aladdin looks great as Aladdin. I see him as Aladdin. The trailers have convinced me he is a good Aladdin so far. Same thing with Jasmine. She hasn't really been doing much in the trailers, so I'm not gonna... you know, give her too much credit, but for right now, I like what I'm seeing so far. I like her. Her costume looks great. The tiger, Raja, I think his name is, looks great too. Iago looks great. Jafar, I gotta see what he's like in the movie, you know. But okay, now let's rip this shit. The genie. You already know what I'm gonna say. The first time we saw him, I hated it entirely.
Honestly, he doesn't look bad, but he doesn't look good. He looks awkward, you know?
The first time we saw the genie was the worst thing. And I don't blame Disney. I blame society. You know why? Because this was the problem. People kept asking, where's the genie? Where's the genie? Oh, where's the CGI genie? Because we all want to see it. And he wasn't ready yet. He wasn't finished. But Disney said, you know what? So you guys will shut the hell up. Here you go. And it looked bad. And then the second trailer came out and he looked a lot better. He does look a lot better. And seeing him in action, moving with Aladdin, he does look decent. I'd be lying if I told you. I didn't smile when I heard him singing Never Had a Friend Like Me with Aladdin. Speaking of that, I heard that, and this is a bad thing, I heard that there's a rap sequence in Friend Like Me.
Oh man.
And that pisses me off, because Friend Like Me is my favorite Disney song of all time. And I'm not kidding when I say that.
That's very interesting. That's different, I guess. I mean,
That's beyond different.
It's like, why? I feel like they're putting something there that isn't necessary. Like, who knows? It could be a cool rap, but it's, no matter how cool it is, it's like you're adding something that's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, well,
Yeah. Kill for mother.
it's like Power Rangers, right? They got 6 Rangers. That's cool. 6 Rangers. But then they go and add 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's like, it becomes unnecessary. Like,
Don't throw subs at Dino Charge like that.
but like, you know what?
Dino Charge is great. Shut up. Don't throw subs at Dino Charge.
It's not bad. I've seen it on Netflix. It's kind of funny because one day I was so bored that I actually sat there and watched the whole season of Dino Charge, and I was like, why?
Dino Charge is good. I'm not. I'd be lying if I told you Dino Charge wasn't good. Dino Charge is good. But you know, I was truly against them doing a live action Aladdin for like the longest, because you know, this is so much you have to do. And I hope this doesn't come out as Dumbo, because I saw Dumbo and it was terrible. It was bad. I don't know, man. Disney, I will say one thing. Disney is absolutely ruling the movie theaters.
For sure, dude. Yo. Aside from Disney, Toy Story 4.
It looks terrible. It looks terrible.
As much of a big child as I am,
it looks terrible.
And one of my favorite movies, it doesn't
the story looks so messed up.
It doesn't make sense. Because you know, they're throwing things in there that are like I heard a theory that the reason the toys talk is because the children allow them to, and as long as the children believe that their toys can talk, they will talk. That's why that's why they have a new child. They have Bonnie instead of Andy, because Andy was like, Andy's in college now. I like what they did in the trailer when they showed the flashback, and he kind of, you know, even though he looks different, I mean, it looks cleaner, I guess, you know, but I mean, it's to be expected from the Pixar movies. Like, if you look at The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2, the way they looked was a lot different, you know, but I'm excited / not excited, because how is it a sport that's talking? But
I don't know.
We'll have to wait for June 21st to find out, you know?
Alright. That is gonna do it for this first I don't want to say episode because it sounds cheesy, but we're going to go with episode. First episode of whatever this podcast is going to be called. We're going to figure that out. Thank you for listening. If you do listen, we're going to try to do this as often as possible, but not as often. That way we have a lot to talk about. So, I bid the farewells. Have a good night, people.